Hello and welcome to hobby log number 259. It's an early one for me this week. It's a short week on Friday morning. I'm leaving later on today to drive over and see Rosie, which obviously I'm very, very excited about. But that does mean that it is a shorter week, so not quite as much hobbying done, being very, very busy. But I have got stuff done, and so hopefully this is going to be an interesting video for you to watch. We'll crack straight on with the Reaper Challenge. So last week we had a runaway winner, which was Burgo Ironbelly, who is a dwarf or a halfling pirate. Lots and lots of pirate fans on the channel, obviously, so thank you ever so much to everyone that voted. And this week we have another list of 10 to pick from. So if you're not sure what this is about, you can see on screen now there are 10 miniatures listed. There's also a list in the description with a link through to the Reaper website if you want to see what the miniature actually looks like. Now what you need to do is pick two, not one, two this week, of these miniatures. Leave a comment below. You can talk about other things as well, but just in the comment let me know which miniature you want me to paint. And when I'm back in a couple of weeks, the one with the most votes will be the one that I'll paint that week. And everyone that votes gets an entry for each vote. So if you vote for one miniature, you get one vote this week. If you vote for two miniature, you get 2 entries. And every 4 weeks, I will do a prize draw, and the person who gets drawn out the hat will get to choose one of the miniatures, and it'll be sent to them free from the Reaper website. So get involved. It's really inspirational. It's really keeping me going. It's been very, very, very tough last year, and doing this challenge has really helped. Can't tell you how much it's helped. So if you can vote, that would be awesome. So I'll stop rambling now. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again at the end. Right, so the miniature for this week is Sheriff Drumfasser. So as you can see, I've already taken the blister off because, yeah, I didn't want to be fiddling around with that on camera. It annoys me. Looks like a really cool miniature. It's going to be a lot of fun to paint. And it's good that it's simple because I've got a short week this week. It's actually Sunday night now, when I've normally would have already had all this cleaned up and ready and maybe even primed by now. But it's Sunday night already, and I'm leaving to go and see Rosie on Friday after work. So I only have 3 days or so, 4 days to paint this. And lots of other stuff going on as well. So it's a short week, so I'm glad it's a simple miniature. And it looks like it's going to be fun, which also helps. So going to go get that scrubbed in hot soapy water. Then I'll get it mounted to a base and primed, and I'll bring it back and show you what it looks like when that's done. And then we'll take it down to the painting bench and get stuck in on painting it up. And that will be going up on an average painter as well. So thank you to everyone that voted for this. And don't forget to pop your vote in for this week's, because yeah, it's your votes that decide which miniature I'm going to paint. Now, this is something really cool. So this is a book nook, a DIY book nook, which was bought for me for Christmas by a very good friend, Elizabeth. She's here right now with her daughter. Tomorrow I'm taking them to the airport. They're going back to America, and it's been here for 4 weeks while they've been here, and this evening we're going to make a start on it. It's nothing like leaving things until the last minute. So I will be recording the process of this, not the actual building process, but just showing how it goes and talking through it and showing what the end result looks like. Pretty cool. It's got some very, very detailed instructions. It does seem to come with some lights. So yeah, just after I record this, we're gonna pop downstairs, and I'm going to make a start with Isabella, her daughter. So yeah, so we've got some accessories, whatever that is, and we've got a bunch of sprues which are MDF, and we've got some paper which is like, I don't know, looks like rugs and carpets and stuff. So yeah, pretty excited to give this a go. As I say, I will report back on the process, and hopefully get this done relatively quickly, and yeah, then I can go in my library, which will be really cool. Okay, I'm going to make a start on assembling this. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to be sticking the head in there, and it looks like this is quite nicely sculpted to make it quite obvious how it fits together. But I will be doing the head and then mounting the shell on at the same time, just to make sure that it all fits and doesn't look odd. So just a bit of super glue will do that, and then we'll move on to the next bits, which is probably going to be assembling the howdah. So a bead of super glue. This is resin, So normally resin grabs pretty quickly with super glue. Normally, he says. Grabs your fingers quickly, doesn't it? Super glue grabs your fingers and anything you touch. So I might be holding this for a bit. So I might turn the camera off and bring you back when I've got both those things assembled and show what it looks like. So I've decided to use my super glue activator. So we just spray that around it. Take the shell here and yeah, press it on, and I'm going to give it a good press to get it into place, like so. And with the super glue activator on there, that should grab nicely, and you can see that that has a little bit of a gap there, which I'm going to need to close up. So maybe I'll put a little bit more super glue in there, a little bit more activator and squeeze, like so, and hopefully that is going to hold. It's a little bit less of a snug fit than I would have liked. I might come along with some filler a bit later on and just fill those gaps if this doesn't work like this. So long as it's held in place, then I can use my filler. Super glue activator is magic stuff. There we are, we have a tortoise. It's not a turtle, despite what they say. It's a tortoise because it's a land animal. There we are. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to come along and fill those gaps, but as long as it's held in place, it's not falling apart, I can put a little bead of filler in there later. I'll bring you along and show you how I do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at the other bits and pieces. So for example, the howdah. Sorry, I had a bit of paper in the way then. So here is the howdah. If I can just get this started up and glued, then this will be good for me. I've actually got some cleaning up to do. So first of all, I've done the washing. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these bits of flash off. You can see here, there's a bit right there. So I'm going to clean these parts up, and then I'll get them glued together, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. But basically, that piece goes there, and that piece is going to go on there. But I'm going to do some cleaning up of the parts, glue them together, and I'll bring you back when that's done. So, tortoise is done. I've glued those two pieces together. I've clamped that one because it was a little bit loose, but this one's going together nicely. So the last bit of assembly to do, if I quickly zoom in over here, is, there we are, is putting the shells on the back of each of these. So there is some cleanup to do as well on this. So there's not as much as it looks, because actually I think you want that hook. There's just a little bit of sprue there that wants to get going. So and there's a little bit on the bottom of that. So I'm using my sprue cleaner, which I don't use very often. I'm enjoying using it again. So yeah, so basically we're just going to drop the shell on the back once we've given it a bit of a clean, and just taken some of that excess cruft off the sides. There we are. And they do go, I don't think it matters which way around they go, so it's just going to be a case of lobbing some glue on and slapping the shell on the back, like so, and then that's done. So we're going to do that for all of the rest of the miniatures. He stands up on his own, look at that, that's pretty cool. So yeah, so we'll do that for all the miniatures, and then I'll get them glued down to some bases for painting, and I'll show you what to do with that. So yeah, we're nice to get a little bit of a start on this and get this project moving. Well, this was an awesome and unexpected gift. At the airport, I just dropped Elizabeth and her daughter off today to go back to America, which is sad. It's been lovely having them here. And Elizabeth had this made for me and gave this to me at the airport as we parted. And it is Keely's stone, Labradorite Kuzdal rune-stone, and it says Inikade, Inikade, return to me. And isn't that absolutely wonderful? So thoughtful, and yeah, that's going to be a very precious thing. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put it. I'm going to have to make sure that I put it somewhere special. I say that and I've just realised where I'm going to put it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this through my laminating machine. That's the word. I can laminate this so it doesn't get any more damage than it is now. And this is going to go downstairs in pride of place where I can look at it every day. So thank you, Elizabeth. I know you probably never watch this because you don't watch my videos, but whatever. That's such a thoughtful gift, and yeah, how cool is that? Maybe I'll remember next time I go to Ardacon, if I ever go back, maybe I'll take that with me and have that as my luck. That'd be cool. So we did make some progress, myself and Isabella, last night. She's gone now, so I'll be working on the rest of this myself. What we did was we worked on one of the walls, so we've got this little shelf which has some records on it, which is pretty cool, and put the frames on those pictures. I also made a little table which has a flower and a cup of tea, and I also put together the chair. So there's some bits that I've not done in the steps. If we actually look at the steps we're up to, I skipped a couple. We were downstairs. I didn't have a very good cutting mat. Not that I have up here either, as it happens. So there's a book that you're supposed to fold, which you need to cut out. So I need to do that. But then there's some other paper stuff which needs to be glued on to the like a cushion-looking thing, and a throw which needs to be glued onto the chair. So I need to get that done. But basically, we got down to step 7 yesterday evening before we had to wrap up because I wanted to go to bed. I had a long day today. So I'm going to carry on with this. I'll keep updating on how it goes, and hopefully this is going to turn out looking really, really nice. It certainly has been so far. We had a lot of fun with it last night, and I'm looking forward to getting the rest of it done. Right, so you can see I've mocked up how the howder's going to work. And what I've got now is I'm going to show you what I do when I'm painting little things like this. So these are not going to be put on two separate bases because they need to be able to fit into the howder and what have you. So what I'm going to do is put a little dot of super glue on the bottom, very small dot, and then set it down on the tongue depressor, and I'm just going to do one per. So I've got lots of tongue depressors, it'll make it easier. You can like put one on each end, but yeah, there's no need to do that, so I've got enough. And then when they're painted, you can really easily pop these off just by sliding the end edge of a knife underneath the base, and they'll just pop off the tongue depressor again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I put the spears along the tongue depressor so that I don't knock them off, because if I had them like this way, it'd be really easy to be stupid and then catch it and knock the model off the tongue depressor. So yeah, this is how I go about doing this when I'm painting something that's tiny and I don't want to be juggling or struggling to hold it. So there we are. Little tip. Hopefully that'll help you if you're doing something similar. I'll let those dry off and then I'll be able to come along and prime them. Right, so we've got this guy primed and ready to go. So I'm going to get a start on this now. You can see I'm already down at my painting bench. So we're going to make a start at painting this up. Hopefully this will go well, and I'll show what it looks like when it's finished. But yeah, quite excited by him. I think he looks really interesting. It's like going back to the start of my hobbying experience. This is actually way back when, well before I started the YouTube channel, where I was hobbying, and there is still evidence on the wall here of where some glue exploded. It just hit the wall, whatever. So anyway, so I've come down here because it's warm, and I'm going to be working on the book nook from here. I've bought myself a little lamp to get a little bit better illumination because it wasn't very good, it wasn't very bright, yeah, that means I can just sit here for a little bit every day and just get a little bit done, which is how I like to work, as you all know, regular viewers will know. But it is actually quite nice in one sense to be here, back where it all started. I remember painting miniatures, Middle-earth miniatures, sat here and making some terrain, yeah, that was what started it all before I even thought about having a YouTube channel. Anyway, there we are. Just like to show the space and give that little anecdote. Well there, so I've got to step 15, and that's looking really cool, isn't it? Look at it. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, but yeah, certainly very satisfying. I'm going to stop now. I don't want to do it all in one night. I want to spread the pleasure out. I want to get it done this week, take my time. But yeah, pretty happy with how it's going so far. And yeah, so step 15, so I'm about a third of the way through. Should be able to finish it this week, but yeah, hopefully get back to that tomorrow a little bit. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to seal the static grass, and I'm going to do this using 99% alcohol, which is what I'm putting on now, which is a flow enhancer. So we'll pipette this on, like so. So once I've done a section, then what I'll do is I'll get my watered down PVA and we'll pipette that on, and then we'll leave it to dry. And it's as simple as that. Now the aim of this is to make sure that none of this static grass falls off because it's quite irritating and it gets everywhere, so it goes in your nose, and yeah, when it falls off it's really annoying. Not the most exciting thing. Nearly done the first section. There we are. So now we've got my mixed, this is PVA mixed with water and a little bit of washing up liquid or dish soap, depending on where you are in the world. And you can see that when I drop this on, it spreads because of the alcohol. So I'm not going to film all this because it's basically what you've just seen done over and over again. So it'll take me a few minutes to do, not very long. And then what I'll do is I'll sit it in the sun. We've got the sun out today, and that will dry nicely. And then we'll be on to the last step for this. I am thinking about maybe putting some lichen on the trees. Bit of green on the trees, not sure. I haven't decided yet fully. But the next step will be painting the rim and gluing the rider in place. Now, just another little thing to point out. You can see there that looks very much over the top. Now you can just leave it and it will be fine. But if you're worried about it, you can come along with a little bit of cloth and just kind of soak up any excess if you're worried about causing a problem or it going a bit shiny. It won't, trust me, it will dry fine. But anyway, that's that done. I will do the final 2/3 now off camera, put it in the sun and then show what it looks like when it's done, and we'll come back to paint the rims. Nearly finished on this. Well, I've got the good sheriff done, and that was just one session to paint, really 1.5 sessions of painting, really quick and easy and a lot of fun. So thank you ever so much to everyone that voted for him, and don't forget to vote now for what I'm going to paint over the coming couple of weeks, because when you see this there's going to be a 2-week break, at least 2 weeks in between when I do one vlog and the next, mainly because I'm away and so I'm not going to be able to do anything, and I'm not taking any hobbying with me, I don't think, because I don't have any way to. So anyway, yeah, this is done and dusted. Yeah, Sheriff Drumfasser, and yeah, thanks for voting, and don't forget to vote again in the options for this week. I've just been fighting with step 20 and 21. We're putting it all together, and yeah, managed to break that off while I was doing it, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I can glue that back on. What I've had to do is run glue along the bottom here, along the back here, and basically just add more glue than it says on the instructions, just because it was all falling apart and it was becoming really impossible. So I'm letting that set up, and then I'm going to put that back bit on here, and then that step will be done. So just attaching that on there is proving to be a real pain in the bottom, and yeah, a bit frustrating, but I think I've fixed it. I think it's okay, and I'll report back again. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get this done now this week. I'm running out of time and getting very busy, but I'll get as much as I can done before I go away. It might be that it has to wait until I get back from the UK to get completed, but I'll get as much of it done. But I've got to work now. It's just before work now. Just grabbed a little bit of time to do this. Now, this has been delayed by the fact that I realised I didn't actually have any grey paint, and I know I could have made it with black and white, but I quite like using this paint. So what I've done is I've just popped out and got myself another couple of samplers. The challenge you've got here is to make sure that it doesn't dry out, because yeah, it quite often dries out, and that's what happened with the last lot, which I then threw away and forgotten I'd done. So I've got some dark grey, and what I'm going to do is come along here and just dry brush over where I think that I might want to have some rocks. I'm not too worried about being too accurate right now, because all I'm doing is highlighting where I think they might be, and when I come and do my brown, I'll do it a little bit more accurately, and that will go over the top of the grey when I do the dirt. But I'm thinking that there'll be some exposed rocks over here and some exposed rocks over there. So when that has dried, which will not take very long, I will come along with the lighter grey and a smaller paintbrush, and I will highlight very much more of a dry brush. That was an overbrush. I've deliberately put a bit more on there than I normally would, and I'll highlight that with the lighter grey, and then finally I'll come along with the whites to really pull it out. And then we'll see where the rocks are, and we can come along and we can put some texture on the rest of it to do the dirt. So yeah, let that dry, won't take very long, and I'll bring you back very shortly to show you how I do the dry brush. Right, this has dried. So what I need to do now, and I might have to do some of this off camera, but what I need to do now is get rid of all this masking. And like I say, some of it I'm going to have to do off camera because I'm going to have to get the knife in, particularly around the edges of here. I don't want to leave any masking tape on it at all. So yeah, I'm going to get that done now, and I'll bring you back when it's done, and then we're going to decide if we're going to paint the edge black or whether we're not going to paint the edge black. So let me know in the comments what you think I should do. Obviously, by the time you see this, I will have made a decision, but it'll be interesting to know what you think. Right, let's get all the rest of this masking tape taken off. Well, there we are. I've got that cleaned up, and I think I'm not going to worry about putting the black surround on it for now. What I am going to do is try to get this positioned correctly in the holes that I saved. There we are. And then try to get that glued in place. So I think I'm nearly right. Unfortunately, I did these and then the holes all got filled up with all the stuff I was doing. I should have really put some actual long sticks in where I wanted the holes to be so I could continue to see them, and then this wouldn't be the problem it is. But because I didn't do that, I now can't find the hole. I hate it when you can't find the hole. There we are. Found the hole, possibly. No, because that's now wrong at the back. Oh, this is frustrating. Right, I'm going to fiddle around with this for a bit, work out where the hole is, get it stuck in. What I think I might need to do is glue this in place and then put a tuft or something just to cover that up. I might trim the bottom of this off so it looks like that foot is just about to be placed down, and glue it down on 3 legs, and put a tuft in front of this back leg. I think that's what I'm going to have to do, because that is about as good as I can get it, I think. I'm sure it was better than that. But yeah, I'm not going to keep fiddling around on camera. I will bring it back. I'll come back when I've got this all, when I'm happy with this and I'm about to glue it in place. And I think that is going to be like that with this trimmed off on the front. Won't be long. Right, so I've trimmed the bottom of that and I'm happy enough with how that's going to sit. I'm going to have to just quickly grab something to kind of make sure it doesn't fall over. Put something underneath there, or maybe hold it for a bit. But what I'm going to do is slap super glue there, drop that on the floor, make a load of noise, and then actually that's already grabbed. There we are. So my wolf rider is in place and the project is completed. Fantastic. Right, so I've run out of time before I go away, but I've made really good progress, and I have got to step 26. Now step 26 is where we start with the electrics, and I got to that last night and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to start on that, and I'm not going to get time today. So you can see here I've got some really cool stuff. I mean, it is really awesome, this kit. I'm really enjoying putting it together, and stopping and gluing was a really good decision because that's made that work a little bit better. So that'll sit there now until I get back, and I'll finish it off when I get back from my travels. Well, there we are. As I say, a shorter week, but I still managed to get a load of stuff done. And it's really good to have finished the Wolf Rider diorama. It's nice to wrap old projects up. I had plans to do quite a lot of other stuff this week, but it just completely went out the window, not just hobby-wise, lots of things. It's been very manic. And later on today, I'm going to start my drive. So you will see this. By the time you see this, I will be in the UK, hopefully. And then there will be a 2-week break, as I say, because I'm away for a couple of weeks seeing Rosie. And when I get back, I will then do another week of hobbying. So I think it will be, I think there might be 3 weeks break. I can't work it out. My brain's too fried. But anyway, you'll see me again. This isn't a long break. This is just a break for travelling. You will see me again soon. And yeah, don't worry about that. But do get your votes in. You can vote for 2 miniatures this week. The picture is on screen now. The list is in the description as well. Every vote will give you an entry into the prize draw. And you can vote twice this week. So don't be shy. Do say hello. I love all your comments. I read them all. I reply to every single one of them. So yeah, if you do put a comment, do vote. It's really cool to have those involved. But I'll wrap up by saying I really appreciate you watching this video. Thank you ever so much. And to everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe and stay well.